Hey ladies, so I told myself I wasn't going to talk about it, but I am. So I'm sure some of you have seen the viral video of 3 white women up on a podcast talking about Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Craig and their relationship. And one of them had the nerve to pronounce Megan wrong as if Megan isn't a historically white name. And then the other one questioned what Tory Craig's type is because the girl sitting next to her was his previous ex.
Ex is dating the Megan, was it the Megan Thee Stallion? What's her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion. Megan. I'm just gonna call her Megan.
Who's
Megan?
Who's Meg?
I don't know.
Wonder what his type is because you guys dated that he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look
very
like
similar. Like
you guys. So I'm just curious.
So here's my issue with white women and how their insecurities scream white fragility. They do this a lot. They will be passive aggressive. They will act as if, they don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. And, your name is so ethnic. And all these little games they play to diminish you as a beautiful woman, as a beautiful melanated woman, to make themselves feel superior, to make themselves feel like they're the norm and you are the outlier. They are the status quo and you are unconventional. This is nothing new. And I'm so glad someone clipped this part of that video, because when a white woman feels bitter and slighted and she feels like her privilege or her status or where she stands in the hierarchy is at risk, the gloves come off and you see the real them. So after that clip, I did a deep dive into, other people stitching the video and seeing what they had to say. And the consensus was there. It just screams, again, white fragility. They feel like their spot could be taken. She feels like because this black man was with her, that means that he should not ever deal with a black woman or a black exotical ever in his life. Because apparently once you go white, you never go black. I'm sorry, that is not how the saying goes. A lot of people who get into these interracial relationships, and I'm going to expose it today because as an exotical, as a beautiful woman, I have experienced a lot of weird behaviors from black men, white women couples in public, unsolicited, didn't ask for any of the weird, strange interactions I've faced with them, but somehow it still ends up happening. Even though I keep my distance, I avoid eye contact because I know how they like to get down, and they always end up targeting me in public, even when I'm with my partner. So this is my problem. I have a serious issue with entitled white women because they are a danger to exoticals. They're a danger to black women. They're a danger to any non-white woman because their fragility has literally historically been something that has put black folks 6 feet under, all because they can't stomach the fact that maybe they're not at the pinnacle of the hierarchy when it comes to beauty all the time. Like maybe there is someone who's above you in that area. Maybe there is someone who's more desirable than you. Maybe you've been lied to. That's okay. It's okay to come to these terms. It's okay to come to this realization that maybe you have been spoon-fed a lie about this made-up superiority and this made-up idea of being the pinnacle of the beauty standard. I would be delusional too. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I was told my entire life that I'm it, and then someone else comes along and it threatens my mantle that I've put myself on, it threatens the hierarchy system that I literally thrive off of and get my worth and value from because I don't actually like myself or love myself. I just allow other people to tell me I'm valuable and worthy so I can feel that way. I would feel some type of way too. I would be hurt too. So that's what this whole video was kind of screaming. It's just screaming white women feeling away because they think that Megan Thee Stallion is beneath them because of the color of her skin and because of how she looks, and them feeling like it doesn't make sense how he could want a black woman if he's been with me. And that is literally the definition of delusion. You have no reason to think that way other than white supremacy. And then someone said something that was so profound in one of the comments, and I wish I would have screenshotted it. But one of the women, she mentioned that a lot of self-hating black men who get in these relationships with white women, they love to speak about preferences and how, they're their preference. But maybe they were just easy and easy to attain. And when I tell you I almost broke my finger in that comment, and I really want to discuss this, ladies, because this is the bigger picture. This is what I want all of my beautiful women out there to understand. Self-hating black men that get with these types of white women, they are getting with low-hanging fruit. The men that love to use preferences as their baseless reason as to why they choose to marry and impregnate a racist white woman is based in who was easiest. Let me cook. Let me unpack. Low-hanging fruit is easy to access. We all know that a lot, not all, but a lot, I want to say majority of those couples, those white women threw themselves at that man. He didn't have to do anything, probably barely anything, to get her attention, to get her in bed, to get her to do things for him. So you get with women, because I went to a PWI, so I went to a predominantly white institution for school. There were a good amount of black folks there, but for the majority, it was white. And a lot of times what I hear from other people who have gone to PWIs, specifically black men, is, oh, I got with this white woman because that was what was around. That's all that I saw. That's all that was available to me. Wrong. There were other black women there. There were probably also black women in the surrounding area. When you go off campus to party, they were there. They were there. When you go back home to your hometown, when you leave your dorm for the summertime, you had an ability to connect with other black women. So they were there, just not in abundance, but that's fine. You still could have made something happen. But why didn't you? Here's what I've heard from these types of men at my school. Oh, you guys want so much. You guys require a lot. If I'm going to date a black woman or if I'm going to date a black girl, she's going to need me to, put in a lot of effort. And I'm just trying to have fun right now. I'm not trying to think about nothing serious. Oh, interesting. So what I'm hearing from that, and you guys can get in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is black women require a lot from me that I'm not willing to give. Not now and maybe not even ever. Black women require me to be on my shit. Melanated women require me to be on my A game. They require me to show up with something and bring something to the table. They require me to treat them with respect and dignity. They require basic human, and I'm not willing to give you that? Okay. That's what that's telling me. So when they run around with this preference talk, it literally goes in one ear and out the other these days. I'm not in the business of getting rage baited because for one, it doesn't apply to me. I'm a preference in my own right. Exoticals are preferences in their own right. So it doesn't really apply to me when they use the umbrella term, oh, black women this and black women that. But when they start to talk about these preferences, I want to tell my melanated sisters out there to not get triggered. Do not care what these people are saying to you. I don't care if you're ambiguous or if you're unambiguous. They're all trying to trigger us. It doesn't matter what we look like. They want to trigger us and they gaslight us by using the term preference to think that, oh, it's just, this harmless thing. No, those women were easy access. Those women fetishize them. They look at them as sexual objects and props, and they throw themselves at them for those reasons. So of course, you're going to go with the easier option if that's what's being thrown at you. If you don't have to do anything, you don't have to court her. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to genuinely love her and care about her. You don't have to pour into her emotionally and be a good man to her when it comes to nurturing her needs. That sounds like a life that a weak man would sign up for because it is easy pickings. You don't have to do much. They're telling you all the things you want to hear. Those types of women, they're giving you lip service, making you feel, like a king. They inflate your ego. But then a couple years down the line, when you have a baby with her or you get married with her, she's taking your ass to the bank. Because all along, it wasn't about, oh, we're going to ride off into the sunset and have, this beautiful life. And again, this is strictly for the self-hating men out there who are with racist, bigoted, weird, insecure white women. Not all, because I understand that there are some interracial relationships that are genuine and that actually work. I'm talking about the ones that are toxic and were not created out of love. They were created out of a mutual hate for melanated women. When these women get done with their ass, they're taking them to the bank. They're taking them to go get washed and rinsed. All these athletes and these people in entertainment, rappers and stuff like that, they always after the fact get up and complain and oh, she just wanted me for the money. Bitches ain't shit. No, you ain't shit. You're not. Because you decided to settle for what was easy for you because it was comfortable. And then when things started to get boring, because naturally that's what happens when you're not being challenged, when you don't feel like you've worked for something, when you don't feel like, you and this person are equally yoked, when you start to feel like, man, maybe this person really just is with me for the money or for the sex or for the access and the proximity to being close to the Black community, whatever their agenda is, you start to pick up on that. And then now you're wondering why you're, splitting your money with this non-Black woman. And so I just wanted to talk about this because how dare that lady get up on Beyonce's internet and have the nerve to fix her mouth like she did not know who Megan Thee Stallion is. Megan Thee Stallion is a beautiful Black American exotical. And how dare you sit there and act like you don't know her? And then for your friend to fix her mouth and say, oh, well, he's been with women that look like us. And, how could he? I just wonder what his type is. Like, that's all language for how dare he go back to the women who he came from. And so this is why it is so important for my beautiful women to steer clear of men who have a history, specifically exoticals, because I feel like they like to dibble and dabble in the exotical community too, because we have a certain look that a lot of them tend to like. Steer clear of men that have a history, because what that tells you is he has chosen low-hanging fruit many a time, and he in some way is going to try to groom you into behaving like a low-hanging fruit, i.e. you're muling for him. You're putting on a masculine role to please him because that's what he's used to. He's going to disrespect you, and he's going to groom you for disrespect because that's what he's used to doing with those women in those communities. He's used to talking to them anyhow, not showing up, not being emotionally available. Beware of those types of men. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share any stories that you have with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.